Yeah, the only new thing again is Nathan did spot that tornado. We have it live here. Again, that report did come from him himself, so we do have that tracking continuously. It is confirmed. When you see that color on our screen change to that pink purple, that means it is on the ground and it is confirmed. And it was extended just minutes ago. If you're just coming in now, it is now for Black Hawk, Bremer, and Butler counties until 6 p.m. So we got about a half hour more tracking this storm, and it could, of course, get extended as it does look to continue to strengthen. One thing to note, though, is it is moving a little bit faster. When we originally cut in for this storm, it was moving about 30 miles per hour, but now we're looking at it moving about 45 miles per hour. We do have kind of a good image showing from Nathan Santo Domingo. There we go. We can take that full there.
We had some damage. I don't know if this was associated with it from where they were, but there's some trees down here and there's some people outside. So,
Nathan, do you want to go ahead and take it?
Yeah, we're 250th and Woods Avenue here, just to the south of Shell Rock. We have a tree down. Definitely looks like some damage to the corn crop as well. We have people out here monitoring things. It doesn't appear that this is any accident. It's just people out here keeping an eye on the storm. Again, we have a tree down right here, so there has been some damage done by the tornado. John, Mark, what are you pointing at here?
There might be some house damage too.
It looks like there might be a little bit of damage to the house as well. We just stumbled upon this as we were following, again, this tornado-warned storm. It doesn't appear that the tornado is currently on the ground. We've kind of lost some of that. Oh, look, is this... looks like even some more tree and perhaps even some... I can't tell if that's new or old or not, but perhaps maybe a little bit of shingles ripped off the roof here as well. Again, just stumbling upon this, some tree damage. Looks like maybe some minor damage to the building as well. So definitely we have some confirmation here that this tornado did indeed touch down here just to the south of Shell Rock. Back to you guys in the studio.
Hey, Nathan, if you can repeat that location again, we'll kind of pass that along to the Weather Service. Can you repeat that intersection you were at?
Yeah, it's 250th Street and Woods Avenue. 250th and Woods. Just south of Shell Rock, maybe about a half mile south of town.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Stay safe out there, and we'll keep tuning in with you. Feel free to, again, chime in whenever you guys have more information to share. Again, we do have this tornado warning. It does continue for northern Black Hawk County, much of Butler County, far portions of eastern Bremer County as well. Again, Reedland will be kind of one of the next towns that will be impacted by the storm, passing very close to Waverly. Looks like the circulation is passing very, very close to Janesville as well. Let's go ahead and pop the velocity view back on. We'll do a quick kind of update here. So right now, we're kind of in this area where it's very difficult to see these storms. We have the weather radar up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. That's what you're looking at right now. Or we have the radar over towards Des Moines. It's right in the middle of those two radars. Either way, they're showing a similar story. Pretty good indication of rotation here, passing either on top of or very close to Waverly. Yeah, if you want a double box again, it looks like he might have some more damage there. I guess it looks like we have some power lines there. So definitely some indications that this storm has produced some damage, whether it's from the tornado itself, which we did see happen, or if it might have been the RFD wrapping on the backside of the storm. Hard to say for certainty right now, but obviously we're looking at some damage there with this storm. Again, this is very close to Shell Rock, south side of Shell Rock. So as this storm approaches Waverly and Janesville, just want to make sure you treat it with respect because it does have a history of producing damage. Right now, if you look at the radar view, circulation is at 88 miles an hour. Again, one of the stronger indications of rotation we've seen so far this evening, passing either on top of or very, very close to Waverly. Reedland will be the next place that'll be impacted. This storm really does just hugging Highway 3 as it moves towards that area. We'll pop the radar view back on. We'll do a bit of a closer look at the storm. And again, as it continues to move down Highway 3, Reedland next impacted. We got Janesville, Dunkerton as well. Dunkerton, you want to watch this storm. What we have seen happen with this storm over the last about 30 minutes is that the storm sped up. It went from 30 miles an hour to 45 miles an hour. Also, it appears its direction has changed a little bit as well. Was moving east-northeast, now moving east-southeast. That's helping it tap into more instability. It's helping it tap into more wind shear. And so this may be a long-lived storm. We have to see exactly how it plays out. If you remember, earlier this morning in far eastern Iowa, we had some severe weather earlier. So the environment not as ripe as it is further off to the west. Either way, though, confirmed tornado with this storm not too long ago. Hard to say if it's occurring right now, but we do know it has produced damage. Feel free to go back to the double box. Again, we do have that damage. Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo on the ground there. Again, this is south of Shell Rock. This is near the Waverly area. You can see power lines down. We had some potential damage to buildings, some roof damage, some shingles removed, as well as tree damage. So we do have at least some confirmed reports of damage with this storm. Meteorologist Sarah Flynn, do you have any updates coming in your way from Weather Service?
Yeah, not quite. You did mention that it is speeding up. Again, it used to be going about 30, 35 miles per hour, now going 45 miles per hour and starting to adjust a little bit, going east, even hinting at moving down to the south. So we could see eventually that be a little bit extended into Black Hawk County. But for now, it's really just kind of nicking the northern or the northwestern point of that county. If we can take the graphics full there again, it is a confirmed tornado on the ground. We do have Nathan out there continuing to track it. It could spin up and spin down, but regardless, it only takes a moment's notice for it to really touch down. And we do have all of the ingredients throughout eastern Iowa and central Iowa that could continue to produce these tornadoes. I think it's worth mentioning that it's not just going to be a day where we have one of these short-lived warnings that doesn't produce. We have several tornadoes already reported towards the central portion of Iowa, and one you just saw here in Waverly as meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo continues to track it. He did see some damage there, but again, continuing to track east or southeast. I'll time this out for you a little bit, moving at about 45 miles per hour. So tracking it down a little bit further that way. Again, some of those are a little bit of a stretch for the most part. But again, we're looking at Redland at about 5:50 p.m. Again, this warning does extend until about 6 p.m. So it could continue from there. But at least for the next 20 to 25 minutes, we will be here with you unless it really gets canceled. But we do continue to see it strengthen. As it continues to push east, it could hit areas of Fairbank right after 6 p.m. Now we're kind of headed a little bit more into Black Hawk County if it does continue to strengthen. For now, though, Waverly almost in the clear on the back end of this storm, now headed a little bit further off to the east in a rural area. But still, if you're in that polygon or even in those counties, be sure you're getting into that safe space and taking this storm seriously. As you can see it right there from Nathan Santo Domingo. I'm not sure if he has any update of what's happening with this storm. Nathan?
Hey Sarah, we like you said, this storm was speeding up here, and so we kind of stopped here to make sure that everyone was okay. We were able to chat, and the rain's starting to come down here. We were able to chat with some people who saw the storm, and as it continues to push off to the east, and they say that no one was in the house that they're aware of when the tornado rolled through, but they did confirm that they saw the tornado touch down and did see debris get lofted in the air. It's not clear exactly how wide the tornado was at the point where it crossed this road. And again, this is Woods Avenue. You're looking up Woods Avenue to the north with all these downed power lines on them. And you can see there's at least 3 lines here that are down. The line that's immediately behind us to the left is currently standing up straight. So it's not clear if, the third pole or even slightly that fourth pole that you see way down there, if those are just kind of pulled down as the result of just the wires getting tugged. But it does look like that this was at least, at least probably 50 to 100 yards wide as it came through here. Sorry, a truck going by me here, so it did get a little bit noisy here. So we're going to continue to push off to the west here. Again, we just wanted to check in here, make sure everyone was okay. I don't think we're going to be able to get back caught up with that tornado-warned storm. We're gonna do our best and then probably drop down towards Waterloo as these storms try and get lined up here, and it'll eventually move down the 380 corridor. So again, just to the south of Shell Rock is where this tornado damage, confirmed tornado damage. Eyewitness reports tell us that there was a tornado that did move through here and cause this damage. We're going to go ahead and try and keep back up with this and stay ahead of the severe weather threat here as it moves down the 380 corridor. Live out here near Shell Rock, meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, fantastic reporting there, Nathan. Thank you so much for that. Again, we do have reports of confirmed tornadoes still near the Waverly area. I do believe Weather First meteorologist Rebecca Copeland has a new update on there. She's also been monitoring social media. What do you have regarding the current storm right now?
Yeah, there are a couple of spotters out there still. So we do have, if we can actually go to Max 2 and I can show you the rotation that's occurring there. And you can see we're kind of in between radars as Nick was telling you earlier, but the bright reds and that kind of blue we're seeing there, the National Weather Service says at 5:35, so that was 5 minutes ago, a spotter was still reporting a tornado on the ground producing damage 2 miles south of Waverly. So now it's just to the southeast of Waverly where that rotation is occurring currently. And that is where we would have the tornado if it is indeed still on the ground. And that is the area of concern now. So past to the south of the city of Waverly, and they're saying debris lofted in the air. So that is indicating that it is doing some damage. That could just be to, of course, we can hope a field or something like that, but we've obviously seen some house damage there too. So as far as we know, there is a tornado on the ground.
All right, thank you so much for that. I do want to chime in real quick. We do have a new tornado warning. This is for Floyd County, technically what we call one of our bonus counties. We don't cover them completely during severe weather events, but it's worth noting that we do have this tornado warning for Floyd County, and this is approaching areas like New Hampton. So just keep an eye on this storm as it's moving off in your direction. This could be a threat here in the times to come. Otherwise, again, our main threat for the time being in our area, northern Blackhawk County, again, far northern Blackhawk County. This does not include Waterloo or Cedar Falls. And by the way, if we do have the double... Thank you very much. We are watching that storm right now, again, as it moves through Bremer and northern Blackhawk County. That does appear to be more substantial damage there. Again, this would be between probably Shell Rock and Waverly. We'll let Nathan try and get some more information there, but it does appear to be more damage there to some farm buildings, some outbuildings, like some roof damage, tree damage. Yeah, this looks like this definitely looks more like tornado damage here. That's definitely of some concern. Looks like we have crop damage. So definitely something did pass through the area there. You can see some damage there in the field, some debris in the field. Again, this would be likely near Waverly. So as the storm approached Waverly, the storm definitely did produce some damage. You can see some debris in the field. The corn crop looks like it's been pretty flattened. We do have, again, we're watching this with you guys at home too. We're watching it live with you as well. Again, we're looking at more tree debris, more damaged debris in the fields. We have first responders on scene. Again, we have power lines down as well. Again, this is near Waverly, Shell Rock, Waverly area. This is where there was a confirmed tornado. You watched it live here on Iowa's News Now. And again, it did definitely produce damage as the storm continues to move through. We did have reports of within the last 7 minutes that this tornado was still on the ground near Waverly. So go ahead, Sarah.
Then we've gotten one at 5:37 and another one at 5:39. So it seems like this storm is really touching down, lifting back up, kind of what you saw on air with Nathan earlier tonight, but still confirmed because it is touching down and lifting back up. That's why you see that pink or purple box on your screen rather than that red. It is confirmed at this time. One thing to note, though, that the National Weather Service is also saying here is as we kind of see this line of storms start to turn a little bit more down to the southwest or southeast instead of directly east, it is a concern for some of those bigger areas. They did mention that areas west and northwest of Cedar Rapids should be prepared for some strong storms. Still the potential of a tornado as the ingredients are all in there as we go about the next couple of hours. So although it's in the clear for now and really we are just focused on that Blackhawk region, Butler, Bremer counties towards Waverly up there, we're going to see these storms continue to push across our region and continue to really be a threat for the next couple of hours here, Nick.
Again, you're looking at damage. This is live pictures near the Waverly area. We do have Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. If he's available, I'd love to hear from him just to talk about some of the damage that he's seeing. It does look like more power lines down, trees damage. Nathan, take it away.
Yeah, so we're definitely not going to be keeping up with this storm. We have power lines down laying across the road, so we cannot get any further here. We're probably going to have to do a little bit of detouring here to get back and try and get out and back towards the Waterloo area to try and stay out ahead of this. A little bit of a wrinkle here when you have tornado damage here, but I mean, this is just some widespread damage. This is probably, back when we were about 20-30 minutes ago, and I said we have confirmed lofted debris here. The corn stalks are just completely bent over, unfortunately. I mean, just look at how laid down and damaged they are. Hopefully they're able to recover, but also pieces of farm equipment laying out in the cornfield as well. We're trying to do a little bit of a maneuver here to try and get back and going so we can go ahead. But again, yeah, this road here, I can give you the road that we're on. I believe we're still on 250th. So yeah, we hadn't really gone far, and we were trying to see if we could maybe squeeze our way through there, but the line is completely across the road. So no luck for us. We're going to have to double back here and deal with a little bit of heavy rainfall. So thank you, Mark, in the front seat here, for being a bit of a trooper. Unfortunately, it does look like there was some significant damage here done by this confirmed tornado just to the south of Shell Rock. Nick, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Okay, right now we do have a new tornado warning. Well, actually, we had this tornado warning for Floyd County. However, it's now a confirmed tornado. You're seeing what's happening today. Every storm that forms is producing tornadoes. We've seen this much across the state of Iowa so far. Any storm that can remain discrete like this. So we do have a new confirmed tornado warning. This does include Floyd County. Again, this does approach Rockford over to Norris Springs to Charles City. So Charles City, we now have a report of a confirmed tornado heading in your direction in Charles City. Meteorologist Sarah Flynn, I think you had some more information from the Weather Service. Go ahead and let us know about that.
Yeah, so this was a tornado warning before. Now it is confirmed. We're seeing that pink box show up once again. A lot of these being confirmed today. The ingredients are there. It is going to be a big tornado evening here for the next couple of hours as conditions are really favorable for it. Right now, the Weather Service is saying it's near Norris Springs, which you can see that just kind of in the corner, the upper northeastern corner of this polygon, but will continue to move pretty quickly there. Let me double check how quickly this storm is moving right now. But we do know that, again, it is moving east. Could it tilt down to the southeast? That's kind of the concern as we go about the night, if these storms will eventually reach that point. But really quick here, let me see how quickly it is moving. I apologize for the delay. Moving east at 35 miles per hour. So similar to the other storm, moving a little bit slower there. We are seeing that hail threat with it a little bit. A lot of times we look for that hail core or those pinks and reds popping up towards the center of that storm. But of course, the main threat with this right now is that observed tornado on the ground, last updated in Norris Springs. Haven't seen any updates since that point, but something we will continue to track out there, Nick.
All right, thank you very much for that. Again, this new warning does continue until 6:15. This is about the northern half of Floyd County. It does include Charles City and Rockford and Norris Springs. Again, Norris Springs where that reported tornado was. Let's go ahead and we'll take a wider view. We'll kind of just set the scene for y'all. A lot of people may be watching. Not a lot is happening at home right now. In fact, if you're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Washington, towards Sigourney, Tama, Vinton, Independence, Manchester, not a lot is happening for the time being, but we are watching this line start to form. One thing we've talked about this evening is that the tornado threat would be early on, and then things may transition more into a wind threat as we go through the rest of the evening. And by that, you're going to start seeing this line of storms begin to congeal into more of a stronger line as opposed to individual discrete storms. So we are watching these storms very closely. Let's go ahead and do an update on this storm here in, again, this is southern Bremer County as far as northern Blackhawk County. Again, we do have live pictures from this storm. If we just want to double box it, you guys can do that at any given point. Again, that's Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo trying to get ahead of the storm once again. But we did have some reports of tornadoes still near the Waverly area as that does continue to move off towards Reedland. That'll be one of the next places impacted by this storm. As of now, we're assuming this is still producing a tornado. The last report we have is that this storm is producing a tornado. You can see there on the right side of your screen, there is some damage. You're seeing at least tree debris there, but earlier, Nathan was at a spot where there was home debris, there was farmstead debris, machine sheds, a lot of crop damage, as well as power lines down. So this storm has a history of producing damage. Let's go ahead. We'll kind of do a bit of a closer look at the storm. I'm going to go ahead and look at the velocity view here, and we'll kind of look at trying to see where the exact area of rotation is. If there is any good news, it appears that the rotation isn't as strong as it once was. I'll kind of dance between the radar sites, which looking at here is from Des Moines off to the southwest. And if I move it up here, you're looking from La Crosse, Wisconsin up to the northeast. Two different radar sites. It's right in the middle of it, which makes it more difficult to really know what's happening. But thankfully, we do have spotters like Nathan out there who is actually telling us exactly what's happening. So we can tell you, air circulation probably very close to Reedland. Again, this continues to move off to the east and southeast, still hugging Highway 3. Highway 3 is kind of where the storm has been riding along this entire time, and just to the south of Highway 3. Looks like this storm is starting to approach the Highway 3 and Highway 281 intersection. These are the state routes. It just recently passed US 63. So it appears to be now east of US 63, and unfortunately, that radar image appears to be strengthening once again. It does appear the storm may be cycling, getting its act together, and is trying to maybe produce another tornado. So just south of Reedland, we're now looking at that circulation of 78 miles an hour. So again, there's some pretty quick rotation in this storm. Based on that imagery, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see another tornado warning extended here in the short term. So areas like Olwine and Dunkerton, those are kind of the next places impacted aside from Reedland, which is under it right now. I want to look at the radar view, and what you'll notice that the storm, it's not as discrete. It's not, by itself as much as it was before. It's starting to become more of a line. And as this line begins to build, we start losing the tornado potential. However, the wind threat begins to increase. And so the tornado threat, more confined, wind threat can be more widespread. So we're definitely not done by any stretch of the imagination here. I do want to look at the watch warnings and advisories, just to kind of do a wider view of what's all happening here. Do camera view, we'll do DMA home, which is our viewing area. And what you'll see here, again, is that tornado watch in yellow. This continues until 9 o'clock tonight. So we do have this tornado watch, does continue until 9 o'clock. Iowa County up to Benton County. And again, this does continue to move off to the east. So Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, you're not done yet. We're still talking about the potential for severe weather as we go through the evening. We do have 2 confirmed tornado warnings currently in progress. That does include Floyd County. Floyd County is technically just outside of our area, but because it's approaching our area, we do want to give them some love as well. So again, right now there is potential of a tornado heading towards Charles City. And if the storm maintains itself, it will start heading over towards New Hampton. I'm going to pop the radar view. Again, this is just how much rain or maybe hail is falling. And what you'll see different here is that this storm is more isolated. It's more by itself. And that's more concerning in terms of the tornado threat. Again, this approaching Charles City. We'll pop the velocity view on. And not as defined as perhaps the other storm off towards the south and east, but there is some indication there of rotation kind of happening with this storm, likely just west of Charles City. But we know that this storm has a history of producing tornadoes. I'll pop the storm reports on. You can see that was in far northwestern Floyd County there. Let me kind of dance down to the south, and you can see the storm down here has a big history of producing tornadoes right through the Waverly area. This has multiple confirmed reports. One of the first, if not the first, was when you guys watched it live here on Iowa's News Now. Let's again, if we can double box, we do have weather first meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. Appears to perhaps be driving through the Waverly area right now would be my guess. He's kind of keeping an eye on the storm, kind of in the behind it now. He was definitely surveying some damage out there. You can see a lot of water on the road as well. That's definitely of concern, just how much rain is falling. This area is in drought, and the problem is you might think you want torrential rainfall, but because the ground is so hard, it can't get absorbed into the ground. So you're seeing runoff into the streets and things. So flash flooding may become a concern as we see more and more and more of these storms kind of move through. But again, you can see there have been multiple reports of those tornadoes, and there's Shell Rock. Okay, so he's in Shell Rock right now. So that's live view from Shell Rock. And it looks like we do have a new tornado warning now that has just been issued here for Reedland. So let's go ahead and pop the radar view back on. We'll give you guys a better look at this storm coming in. You can see it's still a confirmed report. It's in purple, which means this has a history of producing tornadoes. Very updated look shows us it is producing a tornado right now. So again, it's approaching Reedland right now, if not on top of you. Again, moving to the east.
12 miles east of Waverly, moving a lot quicker now at 55 miles per hour.
55. Okay, so yeah, that storm is definitely motoring. Go ahead if you want to just kind of talk about the radar view. I'll kind of step out of your frame here.
Yeah, sure. So taking a look at kind of regrouping these storms, a lot has happened within the last couple of minutes here. We've gotten a lot of updates to this ongoing tornado threat. Again, now you see 2 boxes here. It really just has been extended. We did kind of suspect that that would happen, but the second one now, again, goes until goes a little bit past, it goes until 6:30 p.m. I apologize. Thought it was 6:15. 6:30 p.m. Again, tracking that hail threat with it as well. It is moving a lot faster, though. That's something we've continued to see with these storms. This one now moving about 55 miles per hour. Now, we're hearing that tornado confirmed spotter saw it over Denver. So again, we saw a track kind of its way through Waverly, now moving east a little bit more southeast, and will continue to push in that direction. So if you're along anywhere of 260th Street here, Reedland, as you continue, it's just out of it's just north of Black Hawk County, I should say. But really, if you're along Highway 3 anywhere, make sure you're getting into that safe space if you're within that polygon. It is going to continue to track east. Concerns are looking at Olwine, not in that polygon right now, but definitely we'll see some of these storms push through, if not this tornado warning getting extended. Now, I do kind of want to regroup a little bit. We did have some severe thunderstorm warnings extended. Don't want to leave them out, but again, those tornadoes are the biggest threat right now. That severe thunderstorm warning in the Waterloo area for Black Hawk, Bremer, Butler, and Grundy counties, that one is producing 60-mile-per-hour winds, so certainly a damaging thunderstorm coming along with it. That continues again for about 35 minutes until 6:30 p.m. A new one kind of far off in our western area for Grundy and Hardin. That one similar, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Likely going to see those storms continue to track. And of course, we do have this confirmed tornado up in Floyd County as well. Not seeing any updates on that, Rebecca. I don't know if you've seen anything else come in.
No, but I would go to if you want to go to the velocity on that, it's getting a little funky. There it goes. Okay, so you can see there's some strong rotation still ongoing there. And then if we can go down to our southern storm near Reedland, and that is where you also see the strong rotation, these big bright greens and reds coming together that is indicating rotation. So it is possible there could be a tornado still on the ground. We have not had any confirmation of that, at least in the last couple of minutes perhaps. They said in Denver there was confirmation. Now that's heading to the east, would be really south of Reedland if there was a tornado heading toward Fairbank, just north of Highway 218 there. So not had anything else come, but the Weather Service is still saying observed in their wording. So we're going to treat it as if there is still a tornado on the ground.
Yeah, and one thing to note with this storm too is it's really been a system that has dropped a tornado, then lifted again, dropping on and off. You kind of saw that with Nathan earlier. Seems like it's still doing that situation. We saw that report near Denver, again, tracking towards the Reedland area. Up to the north, though, with this Floyd County storm, the latest confirmation we do have was right around 5:55 p.m. south of 180th in Floyd County. You can start to see some of those storm reports pop up there as well. But we do see that strong rotation with it, with the velocity. Again, right here, paying attention closely to that storm as it continues to move a little bit north of the Charles City area. Nick, I'm not sure if you have any more updates that you want to talk about with the radar.
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, that's a very concerning site there. That's a pretty strong indication of rotation just southwest of Floyd, heading toward Charles City. Again, technically speaking, Floyd County is outside of our core viewing area, but some people may be able to get us over the air. And so that's why we're letting you know what's coming with this storm. Again, there is a report of a tornado approaching Charles City. We did just have that report fairly recently, within the last 3 minutes. So that's how you know that the threat level continues with these storms. We'll put a velocity tracker on it You can see it's rotating at 62 miles an hour. Right now located just southwest of Floyd and just west-northwest of Charles City. This is going to come very close to Floyd. If you are in Floyd, you want to make sure you're in your safe place. Lowest level of a home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. If you are in Charles City, you want to do the same. The storm continues to track ever so slowly off to the east. So Charles City will be in play here relatively soon. I do want to pop down, put the radar view back on. I want to pop down just off to our south here with this new tornado warning, which continues. Again, this is for Bremer County and Blackhawk counties, far northern Blackhawk County. So again, Waterloo, you're not under a tornado warning, but you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. So we can still talk about some wind damage, trees going down, power lines going down. Want to make sure you get away from windows if you're in the Waterloo area, but thankfully the tornado threat is to your north. You're going to be okay over in the Waterloo area. What I do want to do also is kind of look, maybe try and get some live cameras here. I do have quite a few cameras I know in the Waterloo metro. We're going to see if this works. We'll do live cameras. We'll see what it looks like in the Waterloo metro right now. This may take a second to load. You can see we got one camera here by Cedar Falls. May take a second to pop in here. This is right through the heart of Cedar Falls where there is some construction ongoing. You can see some pretty heavy rain falling there. Doesn't appear to be very windy. I think the worst of the wind is probably now off to your east in the Cedar Falls area. So let's jump down towards Waterloo. We'll jump towards the downtown area of Waterloo. Some brighter skies there. We're likely looking off to the south. This is right downtown, US 218 at 8th Street. You can see the rain's coming down there. Nothing too bad for the time being. We'll jump down to like Highway 20. And again, you can see traffic is moving along fine. We do have some rain falling there, maybe some issues with hydroplaning and things like that, but at least the tornado threat is off to your north. And if you are just joining us, it's 6 o'clock. You're watching iOS News Now at 6 o'clock, and the news continues to be weather. We are tracking severe weather as it moves through eastern Iowa. Let's do an update. Well, we'll start right here with a brand new tornado warning, which has just been issued now. This does include Fayette County. This is now radar indicated. We haven't had any recent reports of a tornado with this storm, but now Olwine, you are now in that tornado warning. This new tornado warning does continue until 6:45. This from the National Weather Service in La Crosse. I do want to pull up the velocity view here. And I do want to kind of show you that there is some rotation with this storm, maybe just southeast of Reedland or very close to Reedland. That is going to continue to move off to the east. You have Highway 3, State Highway 3 right here. That storm continues to ride right down Highway 3, now entering parts of Fayette County. So Fayette County will be under the gun with this storm. We'll put the gate-to-gate shear. This is how much the spin is in the atmosphere. Again, this is very close to Reedland. It's down a little bit. I think this may be a little off. I do think it looks stronger than what this number actually is. But again, you can see that rotation likely passing just to the north of Dunkerton, but that is a new tornado warning there. Let's do a wider view across eastern Iowa. A lot of people may be tuning in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, down to the south of Washington towards Sigourney. What we can tell you is that you guys are fine for the time being. We do have the main severe weather threat off to the northwest, but keep in mind these storms are moving east southeast. So in due time, we're talking about areas like Tama, Benton County, Lynn County, also Delaware and Buchanan counties. You're kind of next in line here, watching these storms. They begin to develop off to your west and northwest. The tornado threat may be dying down just a little bit. It's not as high as it was earlier, but we still do have multiple tornado warnings in progress. In fact, a brand new tornado warning here. I was just talking about the potential threat there in Tama County. Sure enough, here we are. So we have a new tornado warning here for Tama County. We knew this day was going to probably be a long one, and sure enough, here we are. We now have 3 individual tornado warned storms that we're watching. So we'll jump down here towards Tama County. Yeah, this storm looks a little bit more concerning. What you can kind of notice is there's nothing south of it. The inflow is right here. This is your hook. That is your spin in the atmosphere. Just leaving Marshall County, this will be heading into Tama County here in the short term. So Traer, Buckingham, Garwin, and Gladbrook. You're kind of going to be next in line as this tornado warning continues to move off to the east. This new warning for Tama County in our area does continue now until 6:45. So we're likely to be on here for quite some time here. That's going to be a long night. These storms are going to continue to likely produce spin-ups, quick rotations, and potential tornadoes as they move off to the east. Let's go ahead and look at the velocity view of this storm. Again, this is approaching Tama County, western Tama County, and there's a pretty good indication of rotation right there, just northwest of Garwin, southwest of Gladbrook. We'll pop the rotational view on there. 69 miles an hour. So there's definitely some spin in the atmosphere. That's a pretty strong indication of rotation. One of the stronger indications we've seen so far this evening. Again, this moving into Tama County here in the short term. Let's go ahead. I'll do one more thing and then we'll pass it over to Sarah. But real quick, I do want to just talk about the tornado watch, which does continue for a pretty good portion of our area. That does continue until 9 o'clock tonight. You can see all the counties in yellow. That is that tornado watch until 9 o'clock. I also do see we have a new warning there in northwestern Buchanan County. Sarah, if you give us the latest there.
Yeah, let's go for a quick update on kind of what's going on. There's a lot of new warnings coming in. It's affecting a lot of our area now. So if you're just hopping in, just to reset what is happening, we do have several warnings obviously in place. If we take a look and zoom in on some of these tornado warnings, only 2 right now are confirmed. This one right here, last confirmed, Rebecca, I think said about 5:42. We saw it.
5:42 around the Denver area. That's the one that they had been mentioning in that warning.
Right, that was the one that was tracking east from Waverly. Now we're not seeing complete confirmation of anything on the ground, but we do have a radar indicated tornado warning now moving into the Fayette area. Looking at hail above that 1-inch mark, it goes until 6:45 p.m. So although nothing confirmed, be sure to take it seriously. And again, this storm is moving east at 30 miles per hour. The other tornado warning, or confirmed tornado, I should say, that we have is up near Charles City, or just north of Charles City. This one is for Floyd County, kind of on the fringe of our area. This one is observed, and we are getting a decent amount of reports coming in, at least through the social media, of seeing this one did touch down on the ground. We can take a look at kind of what the velocity looks like with this. Still a pretty strong couplet there. Again, just down to the southeast of Floyd, north of Charles City, but really kind of on the fringe of there as well. So definitely a strong storm coming in there. So those are our biggest threats. We do now have a new tornado warning down for Tama County. This is kind of moving a little bit towards the Cedar Rapids metro. This is kind of what the Weather Service was hinting at earlier today as these storms continue to push down to the south. This one is for Black Hawk, Grundy, Marshall, and Tama counties. Goes for about 45 minutes here until 6:45. Still radar indicated, I believe, at this time, but really something that we do continue to track. And
Sarah, if I could on that one,
yeah,
while we're here, if we could go to the ScanDo, the weather ScanDo, we do have a picture of a funnel cloud, and this is a storm chaser who is saying that a tornado possibly coming down. So some lowering occurring here near the Marshalltown area. So definitely a funnel there. Hard to say if it's exactly coming down to the ground right now, but there's certainly some strong indication of rotation on the radar as well. And that would be moving into Tama County.
And this storm is moving pretty rapidly here. I believe last time I checked, it was at about 50 miles per hour. So really these storms do tend to strengthen and pick up speed and continue to push across eastern Iowa. Let me double check on that speed as of right now as things have kind of gotten updated here. But yeah, moving east at 50 miles per hour. So let's time out this storm as it is pushing in to Tama County, the Marshalltown area, and see exactly where we can expect that to continue. So right now we're looking at it again, kind of near that Gladbrook area, one of the bigger towns that it could impact here shortly. Traer we're looking at just before that 6:30 p.m. hour, and it'll continue into the further eastern area, but again it does go until 6:45. After that could be extended, but we'll continue to see how this storm does strengthen over the next few minutes here. Checking on the velocity as well, it does look pretty strong as well. The one up to the north that did have that confirmed tornado, definitely a little bit stronger, but a concerning image that we do see pop up here as this really continues to push directly into our area and some of those more populated areas there as well. Now, I don't want to leave out the severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, the main threat is going to be those tornadoes, but that severe thunderstorm warning does continue really into that Waterloo area. We're looking at the threats of obviously that hail, those winds upwards of about 60 to 70 miles per hour at times. And in addition, we're looking at the potential for some flash flooding, which you saw earlier with meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. And this storm has been extended a little bit north of the Independence area. We see that severe thunderstorm warning now in Buchanan County until about 6:45 p.m. But those threats do remain as those tornado warnings. Nick, I'm not sure if you want to provide a quick update on what's happening with those.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of one of those days where we have multiple warnings. We're going to be jumping from storm to storm to storm because there's a lot of threats in eastern Iowa tonight. You're looking at a live view on the right side of your screen. That's Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. He's tracking storms earlier. Again, we do have reports of damage that we saw. We saw the tornado touchdown live here. Weather First meteorologist Rebecca Coltman, if you kind of want to talk about some of those pictures, I know we do have some pictures available on a weather scan. If you can kind of talk through some of those.
Yeah, so, we do want to make note that these tornadoes have been doing damage. These storms have been doing damage. This is from the road warrior. I kind of just snapped this image as Nathan was out this way. This was around the Shell Rock area, just south of Shell Rock at 250th Street and Woods. We've passed this along to the National Weather Service too, but there was tree damage there. There was also damage to the home there possibly. And then Nathan also took this picture just down the street basically of the power lines that have come down, the trees that were taken down as a result. So we do have damage that has been reported. We also have now this area in Floyd County that has also had some damage reported there. And then out to our west, of course, near Lake City, Iowa, there were reports of damage. So one more thing I want to pass along to you, Nick, is that Marshalltown, multiple reports of funnel cloud near Green Mountain around 170th and Wallace Avenue. And they're just watching that rotation there.
And it looks like we do have a new tornado warning for Chickasaw County now as well, kind of.
Okay. So that was up towards the north. We're talking about that Floyd storm,
Correct.
how that may start moving into our area. So let's do a quick reset. We do have a lot happening here. A lot of tornado warnings popping off and reports of damage. So a lot of people are going to complain that we're going to start running into some evening programming here. It's a good possibility. Keep in mind, we have damage to people's property. We're trying to keep people safe. I just want to get ahead of that right now because Big Brother is on it. That's a big problem. All right, let's talk about what we have going up here. Again, we have this new tornado warning here for Chickasaw County. Also observed, yeah, you can see that again on the kind of that pink color. That's how we know that this storm is confirmed. So again, this is very close to Charles City, just to the east of Charles City, if not on top of Charles City, and that's going to continue to move off to the east. We have US 18 right here as it moves towards New Hampton. It's going to basically ride right along that. And again, Chickasaw County as it heads towards New Hampton. I want to pop the velocity view back on here. And you can kind of see that image is kind of chaos. Looks like there's some more aliasing issues there. So we'll go away from that for now. But keep in mind the rotation, probably far eastern Floyd County, moving off now into Chickasaw County. This is a confirmed tornado now heading near Chickasaw into New Hampton. This will be riding right along US 218. So again, this is another area of concern. We have multiple reports of confirmed tornadoes in progress. Thankfully, we're not aware of any significant injuries, but we do have damage to homes, to cropland, to farmsteads as well. Again, we're going to be jumping around. This tornado warning for far eastern Floyd County into central parts of Chickasaw County. This does continue until 7:15. Does include New Hampton to Chickasaw. This will be a long-lived event here. All right, let's talk about the other storms going on. We'll do a wide view, start off very wide. We also have this tornado warning, which does continue for Fayette County, as well as this tornado warning here in Tama County. So now we'll jump down to, we'll go to the Fayette County storm. This storm doesn't look as impressive as it did, but keep in mind this is the storm that produced the tornadoes over in Waverly. So it does have a history of producing tornadoes. Again, this tornado warning continues for Fayette County until 6:45. Keep in mind, Olwine, you're going to be in the path of this tornado. Unfortunately, you have a recent history of tornadoes, including just last year, March of last year, March 28th. You had that tornado go through Olwine. So you're unfortunately very well aware of the tornado threat. Fairbank probably passing very close to you. Again, if you're in this polygon, this tornado warning polygon, you want to make sure you're in the innermost part of a home. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Get to a basement if you have it. If you're in a mobile or manufactured home, it's best you leave that to find better structure. Mobile homes, They're not very sturdy. They're great housing. They're not very sturdy, though, and very strong winds, including tornadoes. So want to make sure you can get to a safe place, maybe a neighbor down the road or something like that. So that's that tornado warning there in Fayette County. We'll now jump down to our other tornado warning, this one now for Tama County. If you can see it, we have a new update here. It's flashing, which means we do have some more information on that. This is still a radar indicated, as meteorologist Rebecca Colpin was showing you not too long ago. We have funnel clouds reported with this storm. We have pictures of funnel clouds. So this storm also has a history of producing at least tornadic circulation. So there's some potential there. This tornado warning for northern Tama County, that continues until 6:45. That's moving off to the east as well. Now, the city of Tama itself on the bottom of your screen is not in the warning. However, Garwin over to Traer, that is in the tornado warning. Again, once again, want to make sure you're as low as you can be in your house. Maybe grab a bicycle helmet, cover yourself with blankets, because unfortunately, we have many reports of confirmed tornadoes today. This is not the day to be lackadaisical about these warnings. We do know that they have a history of producing tornadoes, so you want to make sure you treat them very seriously. Want to pop on the velocity view right here. Again, you can see there's a little bit more spin there. There's still some spin here in the atmosphere. It's not as clear cut as it was before. Unfortunately, we continue to have these aliasing issues. This is a weather service problem, not a us problem, but there's definitely some issues there with the radar. Either way, though, you can still kind of tell there's something funky going on here north of Garwin. That continues to ride down Highway 96, where it does meet up with US 63. Weather first, yep, go right ahead.
More watches coming in. The tornado watch has been extended further east as expected.
If you want to go to Max 2, I have it up on Max 2 there so we can see.
Perfect.
That's been extended until midnight now, and that includes Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Dubuque. It's been pushed down to the south and east.
Yeah, and that does continue again until midnight as these storms do continue to track across the area. We already have had several tornadoes touch down across the state the last few hours. Several tornado warnings in our area right now as well. But I'll give you kind of a quick overview of what's happening on. If we can jump back to Max 1 really quick here, I'll show you kind of a quick overview of what we're looking at. So we do have a couple different tornadoes. The main threat that we are looking at right now is this one furthest to the north in this pink purpley box. That is a confirmed tornado right now, or one that was confirmed near Charles City and continues to track towards the New Hampton area. It really is riding right along Highway 24. So if you're on that highway, get off. You know someone on that highway, make sure to get into that safe space quickly here. This storm is moving fairly quickly. A lot of them are picking up speed, but again, the velocity isn't the best area to show, but we are seeing some rotation with this storm, especially again, kind of near or north of that Charles City, or I should say near or east of that Charles City area. The second tornado warning, or of the three that we are tracking, is now moving into that Olwine area. And that's the one that we are seeing that pretty steady rotation with. It will continue to push east. All these are really pushing east, but the threat with these storms today is that they're continuing to move down to the south too. And that's what we're seeing in Tama County. Nothing confirmed with this one yet. Haven't seen anything come through the chat, but regardless, it is a tornado warning. Take it seriously. And it's also important to note that even if a tornado isn't confirmed or produced with these, they're still producing very damaging winds and large hail, which as we know can be a big threat as well. So be sure to be getting in that safe space. A couple more severe thunderstorm warnings were issued, but again, seeing that watch, that is the latest information we have, being extended really across pretty much our entire area with the exceptions of our southernmost counties. So Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Waterloo, Dubuque, now all on that tornado watch until midnight tonight, Nick.
And this is kind of exactly what we're talking about. We kind of knew that we're going to be dealing with an overnight threat. We knew this was going to be a long-lived event. We talked about the morning severe weather event, some gusty winds, a few warnings, but thankfully that wasn't too much. However, one thing we discussed is that how that set the stage for right now. Most of these tornado warnings are popping up along that outflow boundary, which kicked off from that morning storm. And that's the threat we're dealing with now. The tornado threat will continue for quite some time. That's why we do have that tornado watch until midnight tonight. But what you're starting to see is it's starting to become more of a line here from roughly Olwine through the Waterloo Metro down towards like Traer and then north of the Des Moines Metro. If this continues to strengthen, this could become more of a wind threat as it moves east and southeast. So might not be a bad idea if you're in areas like Cedar Rapids towards Vinton down to Iowa City. If you have umbrellas up on your deck, put them away. If you're parked under a tree, may want to park away from that tree, just because we might start talking more of a wind threat here as we go through the next couple of hours as this line continues to intensify. We obviously have the severe weather ingredients in play today, as you're seeing with these storms, and unfortunately most of these tornado warnings have verified to some degree. All right, so here's a wider view again over eastern Iowa. The main threats for now along and north of Highway 30. For now, the Cedar Rapids Metro and Iowa City Metros are okay, but this stuff is coming your way. Right now, some of the strongest storms over the Waterloo Metro over towards Olwine. So we'll kind of zoom up here. And of course, the biggest threat right now is that confirmed tornado, which is up in Chickasaw County. So let's start there and we'll make our way down the line again. We're going to repeat a lot because these storms are happening in real time. How many times today have you already seen while I was talking about one storm and another one went tornado warning? There's a lot happening. It's a very dynamic event today. So again, this tornado warning does continue eastern Floyd County into Chickasaw County. This is still a tornado warning, confirmed tornado with the latest report entering into the New Hampton area. So again, if you're in New Hampton, you want to make sure you're taking your tornado safe plan right now. It's heading basically right down US 18, right towards the New Hampton area. I want to go ahead and pop on the velocity view. We'll take a look at how the storm is spinning. Again, this storm does have a history of producing tornadoes. Apparently has a confirmed tornado right now. For the time being, this is southeast of Colwell, approaching Chickasaw, moving basically straight east towards the New Hampton area. I'll put a measurement of the wind speeds here, just how fast those raindrops are spinning. 76 miles an hour. That's a pretty strong indication of rotation. Right now crossing the Floyd and Chickasaw County line. That moving off to the east. One thing I do want to check, we're a bit far from the radar, so this might be kind of useless. Yeah, it's kind of cluttered there. At least some indications of hail probably with this storm, but it's really too far away from the radar to really accurately use the debris product to see if there's any debris being lofted with that storm. Yeah, sure. What is it? Do you have a speed on that?
Yes, give me 1 second. I believe it was 35, if I'm correct.
Okay, we'll say 40. Give it some leeway. We'll take it down east. So again, this is moving right down Highway 218, so towards New Hampton, right around 6:30. I wouldn't wait, 10 minutes. I'd make sure you're in a safe place now. Again, this is a confirmed tornado. This isn't just your routine tornado warning. We know there's a tornado that either happened or is happening with this storm. So New Hampton, within the next 10 minutes, want to make sure you're in a safe place. Lawler by 6:43, and if it does continue towards the far eastern portion of the county, Little Turkey by 6:48. So again, confirmed tornado up that way. Let's go ahead and we'll jump down to our next storm. We'll kind of keep popping down. Again, a lot of tornado warnings happening today. That's the most severe though. That's what we know has a confirmed tornado in progress. We'll now jump to the storm over in Fayette County, where we have a reported indication of rotation with this storm. The concerning thing with this storm though, as it moves into Fayette County, is that this is the storm that did produce the tornadoes over towards Waverly. So we do know this storm has a history of at least producing tornadoes. Right now approaching Olwine, Fairbank, and that's again moving off to the east here. This storm continues to ride along State Highway 3 as it moves off to the east here. We'll pop the velocity view back on. Again, we'll try and see from indication of rotation here. And it's very stubborn. It's surprisingly stubborn. Right now, probably just north of State Highway 3, getting ready to cross the Fayette County line into Fayette County. So that tornado warning does continue until 6:45, including Olwine. So want to make sure you're in your safe place there. We'll go back to the radar view. And what I want to do also is pop down south. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warning here for far northwestern. Well, this is far, I guess, Blackhawk County. I want to chop this storm right here. There we go. Buchanan County. That's until 6:45. The main threat here will be 60-mile-per-hour winds. But again, we also have this storm moving through the Waterloo Metro right now. This storm also is a severe thunderstorm warning. Does continue until 6:30. We're talking about, again, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This storm, now it's moving right through the Waterloo Metro. Let's take a look at some live cameras, see what may be happening here in Waterloo. We'll jump to downtown, Highway 218. Yeah, you can see there's very low visibility there. Heavy rain is falling right now in the city of Waterloo. Traffic's not actually stopped. I think the camera is just kind of stuck there. There we go. You can see some low humidity. Saw a few flashes there. Some lightning is occurring with this storm. Camera's shaking a little bit. I think the worst of the wind is probably past the camera at this point. We'll jump towards the 380 Highway 20 split, probably just ahead of the strongest wind. I can see some rain is falling there. But again, just a thing to keep in mind is that it's not just the tornado threat, but also the wind threat. We'll jump one more down to Highway 20 on the south side of Waterloo. And again, you can see some low visibility. The raindrops, you can see them flying. So there are some pretty strong indications of wind there. Again, this going through the Waterloo metro. We'll pop down last storm. This is now, again, this tornado warning here. This is for Tama County. That tornado warning does continue this evening as well. One of 3 that we're watching right now. Again, this tornado warning is for northern Tama County. It does not include the city of Tama, but this one does continue until 6:45. This is another indication of rotation. Nothing confirmed. However, we do have funnel cloud reports with the storm, so at least it was close to potentially producing a tornado. Look at the velocity view. Again, kind of garbled here. It looks to me like the kind of an intersection right there, probably just east of Gladbrook, running along Highway 96 towards Highway 63. This will be approaching Traer here pretty soon. So again, this is another tornado warning, one of 3 that we are watching right now. Yeah, go ahead, Sarah.
About 5-10 minutes ago that the Gladbrook Fire Department reported there was rotation, but it was rain wrapped, and that's when it gets a little bit difficult to see if there is a tornado on the ground there quite yet. But regardless, we are seeing this storm rotating pretty steadily. So if you are in this tornado warning for portions of Black Hawk, Grundy, Marshall, and Tama counties, you need to be getting in that safe space. This one does go until about 6:45 p.m., but definitely could be extended from there on out. So we're going to stay with you to make sure we're keeping you safe there as well. You mentioned the wind threat. That is another thing that we have been really seeing with a lot of these storms. The one far up to our north that did have that confirmed tornado, now I'm not seeing any confirmed reports since then, but definitely something to continue to take seriously. That's where we're seeing wind gusts upwards of about 70 miles per hour at times. So definitely very damaging with that as well. Even if there's not a tornado on the ground with this, it is something to take seriously as far as severe thunderstorm warnings. And meteorologist Rebecca Kopelman has some updates there as well.
Yeah, if you want to pop up the reports that we've gotten here too, that we can kind of talk through some of the things that have happened that we know of. I was going to say on our Max box, that we have had some multiple reports of damage that has occurred. Unfortunately, the worst of which has happened in Waverly, where there is a report of a home that was completely destroyed. So that is very unfortunate. We also had from meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo that there was around the Shell Rock area that damage to a home there, the trees that were down, the power lines that were down. So not seeing a lot of these come through, but you can see these multiple reports of either a tornado or a funnel cloud. And in these spots, we're seeing where there has been damage. And there's also the corn that was downed there as well, unfortunately in a drought area. So that's not a great thing to see there. But these storms have been producing damage. And Nick, as they come down to the southeast, which we've been talking about, we now have this tornado watch, but that the threat then for the also strong winds, the CAPE values, our instability values, is a number that we use to watch for how much energy is in the atmosphere. They're up around 5,000 to 6,000. Those are very, very big numbers. So as we go into the night, even as the sun sets, we're dealing with some very high instability.
Yeah, so very busy. We have a view here. This is Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo. As soon as we can get in touch with him, I'd love to hear him have any updates here. I'd love to know where he's at. But again, we are watching multiple tornado warnings. They move through eastern Iowa. We also have multiple reports of damage in eastern Iowa, most again in the Waverly area. We'll work our way down. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. So if we can get Nathan on the horn here, he is with this tornado warning storm here in New Hampton. Weather First meteorologist Nathan Santo Domingo, take it away if you're there.
Hey, how's it going, Nick? We after we kind of encountered that damage near Shell Rock and Waverly, we kind of got stuck, and so we had kind of a crossroads. And I'll send this outside of the Road Warrior right now. A decent looking shelf cloud down extended from this thing, but we really kind of came at a crossroads here as to whether or not we push through all the rain because we kind of got stuck, or come off to the north. So now we're off to the north near New Hampton. We just went through Ionia. We're on 220th Street, just east of Ionia. This is a view looking off to the north and west, kind of looking off back behind us. Doesn't appear to be any pronounced lowering that a little bit of a lowering there, kind of in the middle left, kind of trying to center it here of your screen. As far as I can tell, we don't have any circulation on the ground, but we're again just fresh on the scene here, just again north and east of Ionia, south and west of New Hampton. We're gonna continue to stick with this thing here, try and give you some live shots, and if anything does touch down, we will be sure to let you know. For right now, though, back to the radar, and Nick with you in the studio.
Yeah, we just have a recent report within the last minute or two. This storm is still apparently producing a tornado here in Chickasaw County. It could be entirely wrapped in rain. So another reason why if you're in New Hampton, you don't want to take a step outside to look at it, because you're probably not going to be able to see it. It's a pretty good indication it may be completely wrapped in rain. But again, the latest report from the National Weather Service says a confirmed tornado is still approaching New Hampton. So again, that is a reason for concern tonight. We'll go on the velocity view. Again, we do have that report of rotation, report of a tornado touchdown as well. Again, this is just west of New Hampton here. So that is a point of concern as we go through the evening. This is right on US 18, heading right into New Hampton. That is that spin right here. The rotation, the blue going towards the radar up in La Crosse, Wisconsin. A little bit of a weak outbound there, a little bit of rotation there. We'll pop the gate-to-gate shear. This is a measurement of just how much those raindrops are moving there. And you can see it looks a bit weak, 25 miles an hour, but keep in mind, we are very far from the radar site. So the radar data is not very good with this storm right now. But again, regardless, we do have a report of a tornado. This is central Chickasaw County heading into New Hampton. So again, once again, lowest level of a home. Want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Interior closet or a basement, great options to be. If you do live in a manufactured home or a mobile home, want to try and find a sturdier shelter, because quite frankly, those can get blown away pretty quickly in the wind. So just want to make sure you're staying safe with this storm. We do get a lot of tornado warnings where nothing happens. This is a tornado warning where we know a tornado is occurring. And again, this is approaching the city of New Hampton.